All right. So I'm going to sit down. Good afternoon. So first of all, thank you, Somchai and Henrik and the HAUS for having me. I'm so grateful to all of you for being here, for coming on a Saturday morning and afternoon. I'm so grateful, and I feel really privileged to be speaking alongside amazing people like Andrew and Julia, the Banana Warrior. So let's talk about performance. And before we begin, because this talk really isn't about me, it's more about you, right? Like, that's why we're here. So I'd like for you to take a moment and just ask yourself, like, if the next 15 minutes were really, really useful to you, like, what would you want from this talk? What would you want to look at or explore? So I'm going to give you a moment, and I'm going to call on 3 people. So take a moment, think about if we were to talk about performance, and if it were going to be something that was really, really useful to you in your life or your business, what would you want to look at? You, sir. So when I call on you, I'd like for you to tell me your name and what's the thing that would be most helpful to you.
My name is Florian.
How do you say your name?
Florian.
Florian.
Yes, Florian. What would be most helpful to me? Actually, I was not thinking about that question now. Sorry.
Thank you.
You're going to call 4 people today.
No idea, sorry.
Okay. How about, okay.
Felix. Felix. Motivation.
Motivation? Okay.
Resilience and motivation.
Resilience, what's your name, sorry?
Felix.
Felix, thank you, Felix. So Felix, motivation and resilience. Okay. How about the lady in the back?
I want to know how you can measure performance other than financial.
So how you can measure performance other than financial. What's your name?
Marissa.
Marissa. So Felix, Marissa. Very nice to meet you too. All right, one more. Gentleman in the back in the white shirt.
How to build your dream team of like people who can help with whatever you're trying to accomplish.
So team performance and how to build.
Yeah, like networking and finding the right people to work with.
Okay, so motivation, resilience, how to measure performance, and building the right team to create high performance. Okay, so when people are asking, like, so what are you going to talk about, Nikon? And this is exactly what I told them. I wrote 2 lines on a notebook, and that was it. And the lines were, at the heart of complexity is simplicity. At the heart of complexity is simplicity. So what if we make performance way more complicated than it really is? What if at the heart of performance was really a simple understanding? And what if getting in touch with that understanding would help your natural performance unfold? So my relationship with performance really started with Taekwondo as a young 12-year-old. And it started by me getting my ass kicked for 10 years and like losing everything. And then, so as a young boy, I was like, oh, how do I get better at this? How do I, motivate myself? And how do I measure winning? And, and then so the first thing I did was like, I just started asking people. I'm like, all right, so clearly you're much better than me. So tell me, how is it you're kicking my ass? And I found like the people who were sort of good, like, oh, I have all these strategies. I wake up in the morning. I visualize how I'm going to kick your ass. Or I write down, I have a vision board of exactly the medals I want. Every day I wake up and I set my intentions for kicking your ass. And then things got funny when I started asking, as I grew, right? And I started surrounding myself, like, well, one of my things was like, if I surround myself with successful people, I too will become successful. Because that's one of the strategies I read in the book. Things got interesting because when I started asking people who are winning world championships and Olympians, they just said, I don't know, I just kick stuff. And so I swear a lot, so that pissed me the fuck off. I was like, no, really, like, how are you? It's like, let's show up and kick stuff. At the heart of complexity is simplicity. So so on my journey, what I've learned is when we think about performance, we're told certain things that simply aren't true. We think, I can fucking do it, yeah! That's performance. Like, if you're not doing, this, you're a loser. But the truth is, performance is more, I just show up and do stuff. And that pissed me off so much. I was like, that goes against everything. All my techniques, all my strategies of, the first thing when I wake up, I will visualize my day. Or if I can set enough positive intentions for the day, like, this should go my way. If I can snort enough positive thinking, this should go my way, right? And you just end up getting high on positive thinking before you need to take the next hit. And so then for most of my career, my Taekwondo career, like, that's how I played the game. And I would always lose. And I would always look for more strategies. So one of the ways that you're going to get the most out of today is to stop looking for strategies. Stop looking for something you already know and start listening for something fresh. So today isn't about Nikon strategies for high performance, it's about changing your relationship to high performance. Does that make sense? And the way you do that is you listen like you're listening to music. Because when there's less on your mind, there's more space for something new to come through. Does that make sense? So the truth is, as an athlete for high performance, it was true. I figured out why just showing up, I just show up and kick stuff works so well. Not only in sport, but in business and relationships. It's when you do more of the thing, you tend to get better at it. When you're more focused on engagement and being engaged in your team and being engaged in what you're doing and being engaged and enjoying what you're doing, the less you have to worry about how do I measure my performance, because you're having fun. No one ever needed you to I've never needed motivation to eat a pizza. Like, that has never happened. I have never okay, I'm gonna take a fucking shower, eat this pizza. Like, that has never happened. But why doesn't? Because you have zero thinking about eating pizza. You have zero thinking about taking a shower. I tell my clients, like, when's the last time you need to pump yourself up to make breakfast? They're like, oh, what makes you think you need to do that in business or sports, right? And so I'm gonna tell you my favorite stories about this. So it was the London Olympic Games, right? And it was the freestyle diving, and there was the British team, the Americans, and the Chinese. And the interviewer was going around interviewing them to ask them, because I think with performance, they're like wanting to know the secrets of their success and how are they dealing with the pressure of competing at the Olympic Games in the finals. And the reporter went and asked the Americans, how are you dealing with the pressure? And the Americans well, we meditate before we dive, and we bring in service dogs to pet to help us feel better about diving. And I have this breathing technique that I do before I dive. And the reporter was like, yes. And she walked over to the British team, how do you, on your home territory, deal with high performance diving? And the British team were like, what do you mean? No, how do you, the pressure, Olympics, finals? It's diving. That diving didn't change from yesterday. It's a Wednesday afternoon. And you could tell, if you watch this, how frustrated the reporter was getting. and Because it's true, it's diving. It's business. It's people. It's whatever you're trying to do that you're trying to measure, right? It's whatever you're trying to motivate yourself to do. It's if you just focus on that thing, you'll get a lot further. And yeah. So it occurs to me that when you have less on your mind, this natural ability seems to come through. Have you ever had experiences in your life where you didn't have a fucking clue what you were doing, but that shit worked out really well for you? Right? Right? Every day. So, but we ignore it. We're like, I need strategies. Like innate intuition and wisdom, you need to take a seat. Like, I know what to do, right? But it's always there. Right? But it's like we forgot how to trust it. So my quest to you is like, what if you spent more time trusting that innate wisdom that comes through, like the aliveness that makes you alive? You know, the aliveness that seems to come through Andrew when he speaks, or the reason why you can taste love in banana bread. Like, I guarantee, like you can look up, well, how do I sprinkle love into banana bread? Well, if I set enough attentions into this banana bread, but I can taste love in Julia's banana bread because she just comes from love. And you can't see it, but you know it's there. So what if you could do that? What if you could build a team and just trust this intuition? What if you could naturally know if you were doing worse or better at whatever it is you're doing? And what if you weren't motivated, that you took a break? Right? Who here is like you know you need a break, but like, I need to be, I need to do shit, and have that work out terrible for you. Right? I used to always be confused because every time I took a break from Taekwondo, I would come back better. Because my thinking had settled and there was more space for something new to emerge. And so one of my favorite quotes by my teacher is Michael Neal, is, "You are the unlimited creative potential of the entire fucking universe. Deal with it." Like, that's the truth. So at the heart of complexity is simplicity. And the truth is, you are unlimited in what you can create. It's the reason why Andrew can create a book for his nieces. It's the reason why I can kick people really well. It's the reason why Julia can make fucking amazing banana bread. So what does this look like application? So I was at the Thai National Olympics in Chiang Rai. I was 33, the oldest person there. the oldest person there. The oldest person there. And for the first time in my life, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm in Chiang Rai, I'm representing Nakhon Sawan province, I feel good, I'm just having fun. And like, everybody, you could tell the kids were like, fuck. I gotta win, I'm representing my province, and I was like, oh cool, look at that. Like, I was just like happy-go-lucky guy. And the brackets came out, I was like, okay, I got this. And like, this is my thing where like, I got on stage to fight and like, it's on TV and shit and everybody's watching. And I could see all this thinking like, oh my God, Nikon, you're at the fucking Olympics. You're like, oh my God. And I just saw it. I'm like, cool. Like, what you feel and what you think about you has very little to do with what you do. On my worst unconfident day, I will still beat you I will still kick your ass. Michael Jordan, feeling his most unconfident, will still beat you in basketball. I guarantee it. So I was competing, and I got through that first match, and I won a bronze medal at the Thai National Olympics. And then the second match, I was fighting Phuket, and this was the baddest. Like that, she goes like that. And he was like, fuck, I was like, that's so cool, But if I was in my thinking, I would not have created a friendship from getting my ass kicked, right?
And so I was on a retreat this past week, and one of the best things I've heard about this is, what's your name, sorry?
Matt.
Matt?
Matt.
Matt can have good and bad days, but you're okay. So I'm gonna say that again. Matt can have good and bad days, and shitty days, but you. So can you see that? Shit happens in our heads that make us react, and we think we have to do something about it. But you, like who you really are. So my challenge to you, your homework, if you're up for it, is to just notice when you're trying to for performance. Just notice when you do that. And I want you to experiment with, what if it was enough to do what you want to do? Can you make that distinction, right? Between the, I need to, and I'm going to read you something that kind of encapsulates what this is. And it's a letter written by Vedas Khan, and she's a teacher in this community that I'm a part of. It reads, "Dear kids and former kids, I have a secret to tell you, and nobody meant to keep it from you. It's just that it's been one of those things that's so obvious that people couldn't see it, like looking over for the key that you have in your hand. The secret is that you are already completely whole. Perfect person. You are not damaged goods. You are not incomplete. You are not flawed. You are not unfinished. You do not need remodeling, fixing, polishing, or major rehabilitation. You already have within you everything you need to live a wonderful life. You have common sense. You have wisdom. You have genius. You have creativity, humor, self-esteem. You are pure potential. You are missing. The only thing that can keep you from enjoying all that you already are is a thought. One thought. Your thought. Not someone else's thought. Not your thought. Whatever thought you are thinking at the moment that feels more important to think than feeling grateful, alive, content, joyful, optimistic, loving, and at peace, that's the only thing between you and happiness. And guess who's in charge of your thinking? Guess who gets to decide where your attention goes? Guess who gets to write, produce, direct, and star in the moments you're in the middle of? You. Just you. Not your past, not the future. Did you ever notice that never shows up? Not your parents. They all think their own thoughts. Or your friends, ditto. Or school, or television, or situations, or circumstances, or anything else. Just you. Thinking is an awesome capability. Like any capability, it can be used whether it's a tool or a weapon against ourselves or others. And just like with any other tool, we can tell whether we're using it for or against ourselves. And just like with any other tool, we think against ourselves or others. When you do that, we get in trouble. And we don't usually, and when we don't, we usually stay out of trouble. Feelings exist to warn us away from using our thinking to create trouble in our lives and to guide us back toward natural, healthy ability to live our lives to the fullest. So please remember, kids and former kids, that your thoughts are not always telling you the truth. When we're in low moods and feeling down, our thoughts are not to be trusted. Our IQ drops. And when our thoughts pass, we lighten up. Our thinking is once again creative, positive. Our IQ goes up. The only way you can feel badly about yourself and your life is if you think badly about them. It's up to you. Every single minute you're alive is always up to you. This is the best, most liberating secret I've ever learned. And I want you to know it too.